All right. I'm doing a reading right now that is a request, or at least it's a partial request from the Patreon channel. It's blended with requests from me. But anyway, the question is about NASA's ties to the occult. And this is something that I wonder about sometimes. So let's just take a peek at what we got here. All right. NASA and the occult. I got to make sure this is straight. I look at the camera from a crooked angle. So sometimes at the end of the video, I'll look and see everything crooked and then I'll get pissed, but it's too late. But that looks pretty much straight. There we go. Okay. Root card, 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords, so here is insult. Like, if the 5 of Swords was the main card as an answer to this question, I would assume that it meant no. But there's two things that are coming out to me about this card. And first is the tongue, and second is the white flag in the back. To show a surrender, right? There's a surrender and a taunt that are showing up in the 5 of Swords. The main card is a reverse 10 of Cups. Now, as I look at this, I'm starting to get a different feel for reverse cards when I look at these occult topics. I'm reading them less as the reversed meaning of the card and more about the meaning of the card, but just coming from a different layer, right? Like the upside down, as they say. So here, the 10 of Cups is the happy reunited family. Upside down, this might be a family from another dimension. So when we look on either side of this, the Ace of Wands is what leads up to it. It moves toward a 3 of Swords. So here we have great inspiration and great creation. And then there's the family that's shown here. And then as it moves forward, it's heartbreak and betrayal. And let's just look a little further into this Ace of Wands. As I look at it close, I mean, the two things are, number one, just the fire, right? And also the baby, the child. So NASA has historically named all of their missions after gods. So even if there is no other connection to the occult, they definitely have a connection to the Greek pantheon, because they name all of their missions after the Greek gods, right? And maybe that's what's being shown here in the 10. But if that's true, as this moves forward, it ends up in betrayal and potentially even like blood. Here, the person is drawing their finger across the blade, to draw blood. To what they're actually trying to do is prove to themselves that the swords are real, because they've been feeling the pain of this betrayal for so long. They're like, oh my God. And then they draw their finger across the blade just to remind themselves that there was actually a reason that they feel this way. Anyway, let's look at this 10, this reverse 10 of Cups, and see what we have for this family that will give us a little more insight here. And it's the Ace of Pentacles. So a couple things about this. I mean, number one, it's the Black Dragon. So you can read that as an occult reference for sure. We do have the gate here that the dragon is holding, which is like the gateway to the galaxy. And that makes perfect sense when you're looking at NASA. So here, the Ace of Pentacles is telling us a little bit more about this Ten of Cups family. So currently, I would say that this is like a group of spirits that kind of represent the gateway to the greater galaxy. So we've got fire and blood here. There is a child. Um, and when I look at this in the five, so as far as an occult connection, this would say to me if they had some sort of connection to other spirits, I think the other spirits have defeated them, right? Because we've got the surrender back here and the betrayal over here. So this might be one of those deals where they opened a can of worms and they couldn't really control it. Okay. Well, we do have two aces, the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So the question, I guess, is where do I go from here? Let's keep looking at this Ten of Cups. And I guess I'm just going to ask a yes or no here about whether or not this is like showing a group of trans-dimensional spirits. And the Eight of Cups is saying no, that it is not. Okay. So we've got this ace. What else can we see about that family? And the Six of Cups. All right. The Six of Cups is showing the old story. Okay. Now, this makes way more sense when I'm talking about a pantheon, because the Six of Cups is the old traditional story that's told. So I think that the actual occult connection that happens here is literally with the Greek and or Roman pantheon. I don't know which fucking names are which, right? But there's Apollo, and currently, what is the one that's about to happen? Artemis. And there was Saturn and Gemini, but that's not what they say in the missions. They say Gemini. And actually, I'm going to pull a card on that right now. Because that's fucking weird, right? So the Gemini missions happened before the Apollo missions, but they did not say Gemini. They said Gemini. If you hear any of the astronauts or people from NASA back in the early 60s or whatever talking about those missions, they do not say Gemini. They say Gemini. And that's fucking weird, right? So I'm just going to pull a card on that right now. Like the Gemini missions, were they named after some other entity that is not Gemini? Huh. Wow. So the impression that I get, honestly, out of this Six of Pentacles is that they were creating another entity that, and I don't exactly know why that's what this is saying, but here it's giving something to this spirit. In this case, the spirit is coming from up above, but I think they were sort of creating this space for a new entity. And I think that's kind of how it works anyway. Like if you decided that you wanted to worship some spirit or honor some spirit and you just fucking made a name up, something would show up to inhabit that space, right? And I think that that is what this is showing as far as them calling the Gemini missions Gemini. I think they wanted to create a new entity. It is super weird though. But looking at this, all right. So we've got like that pantheon. Okay. So let's just see if they actually were able to contact and facilitate some sort of connection with those gods. And a reverse Queen of Cups. Okay. With a root card of the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands would show a bunch of labor being done. And I mean, I'm immediately going back to reading this reverse Queen of Cups as an actual reverse Queen of Cups. But as I look at this, this just shows not enough devotion, right? So here is a bunch of labor, but the Queen of Cups isn't really I don't think it's the right kind of energy for the gods to make them a connection, but this is like a lack of devotion. So, whatever devotion the gods were actually looking for, I'm not so sure that they succeeded. That's interesting. Okay. I guess I'll ask if I think it's the Greek gods that we're talking about here, but if whatever entities that they were like reaching out to, if they actually helped them, and here it looks like they did. So we have two sevens actually, 7 7. Okay, but this in the Seven of Cups, this is about artistic expression. This is about creativity. So this would be a muse at the very least, right? And sort of helping bringing that energy out. And the Seven of Wands is showing emerging from some sort of restrictive situation. So when I look at this, it looks like at the very least they were muses. But it looks like they did help draw NASA out of some sort of restrictive situation. Okay. So I guess the question that I'm going to ask, I don't think I've asked this already. Are they still doing well? I guess I know the answer is yes, because the new lunar mission is called the Artemis mission. But I'll pull a card on it anyway. Are they still making this connection? And we get the freaking Judgment card. Holy smokes. So I suppose that would be a yes, but this also might be some sort of like ultimatum, and a card wants to spit out, and there is the fucking reverse Ten of Cups again. I think so. This is what it looks like to me. I think the gods are judging them. This looks like the current mission or the current day is like a judgment being passed down from the gods. So I guess we will look and see how the fucking Artemis mission goes. I'm going to ask one more question because I think about this a lot. I wonder if what has been dubbed as the Apollo 1 mission, if or the Challenger mission, if those were fucking sacrifices. And I'm going to put a card on this because I've often wondered that. So I guess we'll just start with Apollo 1. And was it a sacrifice? Now, the Seven of Swords would pretty much say no, that it was an accident. It was like them trying to do something too quickly, feeling pressured to get shit done on a timeline. So I guess I will ask also about the Challenger. And we get the moon. So that was manipulation. I think that was probably more of a case of sabotage than it was of sacrifice. We've got one more that kind of wants to come out here, and it's the devil. Okay. Huh. Huh. I'm just sort of contemplating this devil at this moment. So we have a forced accident from doing shit too quickly. manipulation. And the card that also wanted to come out is the devil. So I'm guessing here the devil is showing the manipulation. And this is specifically the Challenger when the space shuttle blew up. Now, I'm just going to pull another card on the devil. Let's see what the hell we're looking at here. And we get a reversed Queen of Wands. So there's one more that wants to come out. And it's the reverse fucking King of Swords. Okay. So here, this might be the Pantheon again. You know, the devil here. So we have a reverse Queen and a King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords, if you're looking at the Pantheon, the King of Swords is probably the god of war. And that would be Ares/Mars, right? And the Queen of Wands, I'm pretty sure, would be Venus. Maybe this is just talking about the planetary stuff, right? Mars and Venus, and how this is like they were in the wrong spots. This would be like an astrology type thing. And it's like, boy, they really picked the wrong fucking day to do that. I'm going to pull one. This is just a yes or no. Are we looking at a disruptive force from the Pantheon, one of the gods or whatever? Is that what we're looking at in this devil? Because I can see this going either way. And we get a reversed Ace of Cups. Now the question is, am I holding all of the cards upside down? The answer is no. Okay. So well, keeping in mind that what we're looking at as we go back is probably sabotage of the Challenger space shuttle. The reversed Ace of Cups is a no. The Ace of Cups is a yes, right? But reversed? But I don't know, because all these fuckers are reversed. This is hard to say. Maybe I would like to hear what you think about this. So here, are we possibly looking at the planets? Because I could see this being Mars and this being Venus. Or are we looking at maybe leaders of other countries sabotaging our shit, showing up as the devil? Or is this the displeased fucking gods that are like, okay, this isn't right, this isn't going to work for us, or whatever. Or maybe they were trying to please one of the gods and one of the other gods was like, oh, fuck that. Like, because there are many ways to say no in tarot, and the Ace of Cups is not a good way to say no. The only reason that I would read it as a no is because it's reversed, and a lot of these other ones are reversed. So I don't know. This reading, well, as they often are, the reading is kind of weird. But what the hell else can we do here? This is going to be the same yes or no. Let's get it in another form. And it's a fucking reversed Eight of Wands. Boy. So here we have the Messenger. We have the harvesting of all of the energy. I think the reversed thing is just showing that this energy is not necessarily coming from here, that it's coming from a different layer. This is my impression. However, I am open to hear, let me know what you think about this, because I'm also kind of on the fence. It's not super strong when I look at it. But that's what we get here. When I look at the connection between NASA and the occult, it looks like it's the Greek pantheon of gods. And it looks like they have had at least a little bit of true connection with them. And as we look at the whole scope of the reading, I also think at some point they may have actually pissed them off, and that it's not really a good working relationship anymore. But that's what we have here. Interesting stuff. And let me know what you think. If you have a request for a topic, then feel free to hit up the Patreon page. And for as little as $5 a month, I will take a look at whatever you want me to look at. That's what we have for now, and peace.